Welcome to the Sarah Scoop Show. It's time to get the scoop with Sarah.
Thank you for joining us. I know things have been a little crazy because we talked about chatting a while ago, so I'm glad we were able to connect.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you. I'm pumped.
Yeah, so I know we've got a few things we're going to talk about, but I'm sure I'm one of billions of people that watched you on Love is Blind. How did I even get started for you?
So crazy story. They had my file from when I had kind of interviewed for Married at First Sight.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So what was really funny was I knew the concept of Married at First Sight, but then when it came down to it, I was like, no.
Was that Married at First Sight Atlanta edition then? Or were you living there?
Yeah, I think it may have been one of the first seasons of Married at First Sight. Yeah, because actually the season that I had interviewed for, actually a guy friend of mine went on. And he was like, oh my God, that would have been crazy if you had showed up and then it was me. I was like, oh God. That's so crazy. So yeah, they had my information from that, but.
So you were randomly just applied for Married at First Sight, and then it went from that to we're casting this new show.
Yeah, so actually when you were watching Love is Blind, I referenced my ex-boyfriend a handful of times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it was a little exaggerated, but but yeah, so he actually after we broke up, this was probably a year or so later, I received a text from him, and we were friends, we were cool. Mm-hmm. I received a text from him, and he was just like, hey, I got a call from a casting director for a certain dating show here in Atlanta. I can't do it because of my job, but I gave them your information because I think you'd be really good at it. And at first I'm like thank you, but also thank you. I don't know. So that's how they got my information to begin with. That's good to him.
So I'm guessing based on your social media presence, how you were on the show, I mean, even your approach to this, you have a very I'm open to do things attitude.
Yeah.
Where does that stem from? And I know we'll talk more about Love is Blind, but just looking at your social media channel, you're very much I mean, it is for empowerment, all of those things. Where does that all come from?
Yeah. Right. I would say probably the year before the show is when I started this whole personal development, self-love journey. And that, honestly, that's it. Just really honing in and knowing that everything happens for you, that you shouldn't stand in fear, because obviously, yeah, assess the situation, see, weigh the pros and the outcome, the pros and the cons, but it's what could this bring me, that type of thing. And even going into the show, I had the mentality of what if I do meet someone versus I'll never meet someone, or I don't know, I was able to switch my mindset, and now it's what if the opportunity behind what if is there versus it being a fear-based conclusion to that statement all the time. And that's how, I feel a lot of us live is well, what if I fail? What if I don't succeed? What if it doesn't work out? Blah, blah, blah. And it's well, what if it does? Mm-hmm. What if it creates an opportunity for you to actually find love? What if it creates an opportunity that okay, you don't find love on the show, but who knows whose brother's out there or best friend, yeah. So that's literally the thought process I had going into it. And the first day, we were given journals, and on the front, right inside the front cover, I wrote, every opportunity creates another opportunity. And I just kept that mantra going the whole time, and it just opened me up a little bit more. But I mean, personal development, listening to empowering podcasts, it's just so healthy to do that, to shift your mindset from lack to abundance, and just from that fear to everything coming and leading with love too. So yeah, that's what I do.
No, I think you had a great attitude going into it. So let's go back to, you apply for the Married at First Sight, but then you get a call about Love is Blind. What was the process of all of that? I mean, this show turned out to be huge. There's no way you would have known how people would react.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I mean, yes, they pitched the concept to me, and when they did, they were you would be, meeting somebody sight unseen. And I thought that it was really neat, honestly, because of the fact, like, obviously going through the personal development journey, and I was learning to communicate better with myself. And so I was like, this is so neat because I'm actually going to, like, get to communicate with someone, not being able to, like, obviously see them, and not, like, create a judgment or an impression. I only have their voice and their dialogue to go off of, and, creating that emotional bond. And I thought that that was so neat. And, on the flip side of that, there was a part of me that was kind of like in this, like, prove it mentality too, because my friends, they always joked with me, like, stop going after these, like, model looking guys all the time. They've proven to treat you like, not to say like all model looking guys treat you like crap, but my experiences, and I was, I guess, dating more of an attractive looking guy, and but I kept getting burned with that
Right.
cynic. So, I was just really open to be like, hey, like, which is not the case. Like, I do like people for their emotional and intelligence level, but it just seemed sometimes that way to my friends. And so I was like, fine, like, I'll prove it to them, and that I can create a connection without even seeing somebody. At least not in a picture. Like, I can't see them at all.
Yeah, because so when you're in the pods, I mean, what we saw is what happened, right?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like, there were days. I mean, we were actually in the pods for longer than, like, the day that you saw us. Like,
but I mean, like, you never got to, like, go interact with the guys. Like, you literally did not see them until
we were engaged. Yeah.
It's such a crazy concept, but it's pretty cool to see how it worked out for
show. I mean, and they're all still together.
Yeah,
which is amazing. I mean, I love it. I mean, on the reunion show, I was like, I don't know how y'all did it. Like, it's awesome.
How long did you know before you were selected that you were going to go on this dating experiment? Like, through the casting process, I mean, did you have time to prepare, or was it pretty quick turnaround?
No, there was time to prepare. I mean, the like interview and like getting background check, like all of that, and you have to get like a psychology test and that kind of thing done too. So it was probably a few months. However, like within a couple of weeks of leading up to like actually like getting confirmed that I was casted for it and everything. With that being said, yeah, it was only a couple of weeks maybe, but I was so like, oh crap, like I have to get an answer now. Like, I've got through the whole process, and now, like, like the fears did start to creep in, like last minute. I remember having a call with my casting director, and I was like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, what, I have this like reputation. I'm a health and empowerment coach, did more of the health at the time. And I was like, I'm a health and empowerment coach. Like, I don't want my reputation going to crap, because I was like, it's reality TV. Who knows what you guys are going to do to that camera, And she's like, no, it legit is an experiment. We want to see how it works. Like, it's never been done before. And I was like, you're right. She goes, we're not trying to ruin anybody's life.
Right.
Go, yeah, you're right. She goes, and you're not the only, like, it's not like we are like getting you on and it's just gonna be like a bunch of actors. Like, it's legit all just normal, real people.
Which is really cool to know that, like, you were really with people that were there for the reasons of finding someone.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So it was so neat. And I was like, okay, you're right. Give me like 12 hours to think about it, and I'll send you an email to confirm.
So looking back at it, is this something that you would do again or recommend people to give it a shot?
Yeah, I totally would. At the end of our filming, they asked us, would you ever do this again? And I say, yeah, absolutely. If there wasn't a wedding at the end, I would probably do it again. But I mean, the whole experiment, even with the wedding at the end, like it was life transformative. Like, and I don't just mean because like, oh, I'm this like newfound like celebrity status or whatever. Like, I'm not even talking about that. It is like a personal life transformation, because you literally are learning how to be vulnerable, because you're having conversations. Like, how are you going to get engaged to someone that you're just having these surface level conversations with? It doesn't happen. And as you watched those episodes, everyone shared a bit of them, with that someone, self-sabotage, Amber had some personal things going on. Like, I did too. Like, I don't know if they really showed too much of how deep I got, but like later on, I was talking about like sex and climaxing,
right?
Having like an emotional bond with the person. Like, we all got really deep really fast, and that's something too. Like, you kind of have to be ready to do that. like it's so transformative. Like it helps you learn so much about yourself and how you need to be showing up better in life in general.
And I feel like it has to help you be more open, because even the conversation you're having with us now, I know people are commenting and things, and like people feel like they know you in this way.
Yeah.
Like, to where I think a lot of people were watching, and obviously everyone wants to see a fairy tale ending, but I think a lot of people could relate to why you said no. I mean, sorry, spoiler, but everyone should have seen it by now. But I feel like that said a lot about like just being able to be yourself and be a strong person. What was that like to get to that point and do that?
It was borderline terrifying. Simply like, I mean, I knew what I was doing was right. And I mean, to the degree of just like, I think it was more terrifying and nerve-wracking, and there's just so much like, there's so many crazy emotions going on, because like our families were there. We had our families involved, our friends involved, and it wasn't just Kenny and I, and yes, of course, like Kenny and I did have some conversation before, but I felt like Kenny and I had really good communication like the whole time. So I don't necessarily think I broke his heart, but I digress on that. But either way, it was just hard because like you show up in a wedding dress. You've never shown up in a wedding dress before in your life, and like your mom, your dad, like those are like dreams of theirs that they have, and to know that you're gonna say no at the altar is like, it's just like, you don't, when you're a girl, I mean, you're a girl, like as your whole life is like, oh, I imagine myself walking in my wedding dress, walking down the aisle to this like dream man that I have dreamt of my entire life and I'm spending forever with, and blah blah blah. And it's like, well, it wasn't the case, so it was very, very emotional. And again, like it takes a lot. I'm glad that I had already started like this personal development train that I was on, because it could have been a lot worse, even like after the show. I mean, after the show started airing, and it's like people were like, cheering for Kenny and I, and then I said no, and it was like, you're gonna die alone, and I was getting like all this like hate mail and whatever, and it's just understanding how to not react and knowing how to respond or not respond at all, like, is the best thing to do.
Do you feel like there was a lot that happened that we didn't see that would have made people think differently, or it really was just like you were good friends, but you didn't see it going to that kind of relationship?
Yeah, I think that there may have been like a little bit, but yeah, there may have been a little bit that just seemed, but I remember like Kenny and I just being like, we are solid. Like we are solid, but I mean, for me, I was open. Like I was told him, I was like, I don't know if my head and my heart are connecting.
Right.
And so, so it wasn't like it was like I just all of a sudden like dropped a bomb on him, at the altar.
Yeah.
But, but obviously that's how they kind of make it seem, minus the whole sex talk, because I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, she's just like copping out. She's just not physically attracted to him. And what you don't see is us kissing like all the time. Like I didn't want to not kiss him. Like he was just adorable. The more I got to know him, he was even more attractive, and because I was so emotionally connected with him.
Yeah. I think as a viewer, we just saw two really nice people, and everyone just thought, oh, they're going to say yes. Like that one's a given. And then we're like, whoa, like, that's not what happened.
Yeah, I turned everything on everybody.
But I think, again, it's like, it was a really good, because we got to see such a variety of people saying yes, saying no, like, and for your own reasons. And I think like with reality TV, people want to find someone. There are probably millions of people that connected that were in that same scenario that you've been in or that you were in, and they were able to move on after it. Right. So with that, like, how is it now, like with the cast? Like, are you all still friends? Do you still talk?
Yeah. I would probably say, I mean, there's probably more people, just like your own friend circle, there's probably people that you like maybe click more with. So yeah, I have that. I mean, Jessica and I knew each other before the show. We didn't know that we were doing the show. Like we showed up on set and we were like, what?
Yeah.
So that was interesting. But yeah, I mean, like she lives in LA now, and she just came in this weekend. It was her birthday, but she also had a wedding, and so I went and met up with her to see her and give her a squeeze. But like Giannina and I, we vibe on the same like spiritual train. So she's just, I love her vibe. But yeah, I mean, there's a handful. I'm still friends with everybody. We just, some people I just like vibe better with, I guess. And you know, out of respect for Kenny, because obviously Kenny has a girlfriend. You know, we are friends, you know, but it's not like we're talking all the time or anything.
Yeah, you just don't, there was no like hatred or ending.
Yeah,
like,
exactly, for sure. There's like nothing but respect for each other.
With Jessica, I mean, she got a lot of backlash. Were you able to like be there for her and kind of help her with, I mean, your empowerment lifestyle and going through this experience as well? I even saw a few comments about her. I feel like once that came out that you guys actually knew each other, and I think I saw a picture of you guys like on a boat or something.
Yeah.
People are like, oh my goodness, they're friends, like not just on the show.
Yeah. There was, I mean, I remember like posting something on my Instagrams where it was like a picture of her and I was just like, you know, just talking about my whole story, I guess, was talking about just like choosing kindness during this times, especially like you don't know us like personally, you know. And so I posted a picture with her and I was like, you know, especially send my friend Jessica some love. Like, you don't need to be hating on her. I was like, we're real people. We have the same feelings and emotions as you all do. And like, if you think that I'm a good person, like from what you've seen on the show, like please trust my judgment and my friends too. Like, I wouldn't be friends with her if she was some crazy like psycho. Like, even then I would probably still be friends with her because I love people. I see the good in everybody. So you know, but yeah, I just think that, but I was there. I mean, we were her and I both were constantly, you know, sending each other texts like probably almost every other day, just like, how you doing? Or like when the new episodes would launch, and we would, because we didn't see anything before anyone else did. Like, I woke up because it was released, I think, at midnight California time. So 3 a.m., I would literally wake up at 3. I had to be at work at 7 or 8. I would wake up, start watching, and like binge watch as much as I could before I had to like actually leave for work. And then, you know, just so I was kind of like ahead of the times. I was like, what are these people finding out before I do?
Whenever you were going through the pods, I know because I actually interviewed Lexi, who didn't move on past to the honeymoon phase and all of that. But when you were going through the pods, was it just Kenny that was your connection, or did you have like a lot of different connections that we didn't see? Or you know, like, I feel like people don't realize, from what I've heard and talking to other people, it's like that all happened really quickly.
Yeah, it did. So the pod life was like 8 days, I think. So yeah, just about a week. But
so you go in like as a single lady, and then like a week later you're
like,
engaged.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yes. So, and Lexi and I love her to death. So yes, I connected with Kenny, Wesley, who was Lexi's, you know, they actually did get engaged. And then Damien, also, Giannina's Damien.
Okay.
So they were kind of like my top 3 guys. And Damien and I remember, like, Kenny, though, just like was at the forefront of it, like all the time. It was like, I like craved talking to Kenny. Like, I love talking to him. I love talking to, you know, Wesley and Damien both too. But I remember like specifically a conversation like Damien and I had, where he was like, he even said like, not like he's conflicted, but like, you know, like, I feel like I could be like a good match for both you and Giannina, or y'all could be a good match for me. He goes like, I know, like, our conversations were just so fluid, and just like, it was like he was my best friend, like we had known each other forever. And it was so incredible that way. But what he said, he goes, Kel, like, obviously, like, we could talk forever, and I know that things would be like wonderful. He goes, but like, I have this like different chemistry with Giannina. And I just knew that, you know, because Giannina would like come out from her dates and just be like glowing after her dates with Damien and stuff. And, you know, and I was like, Damien, that's okay. I said, because I feel the same way. Like, I honestly have like such, you know, like good connection with you. I said, but I feel like this other chemistry with Kenny. And he was like, okay. And it was like, we just like agreed to like, all right, we know who our people are.
That's pretty cool too. And it seems like, you know, even saying that, like everyone kind of had their person, which is pretty cool with the experiment, how it really did work for you guys to connect on more than just like the physical level or anything like that.
Absolutely. It was so cool. It was so neat.
So what, like, as I did see, unless something's changed, that being single still, correct? Yeah. So like, as a single woman, after going through this experience, like, I feel like you have had to have grown so much and learned so much. Like, what advice do you have for other single women out there, like looking for husbands or long-term relationships?
Yeah. You know, again, I'm really big into personal development, and I think it's so important. A lot of us women, we get very needy, and we start, you know, outside of the neediness, we lose ourselves, you know, or within that neediness, we lose ourselves, and we tend to create stories also. So along with the neediness, I don't know, it's like when you start, like, let's say a guy, you start dating him and then he like ghosts you, or he's like just being like, he's playing games, you know, and it's like, then you start to be like the one to text him, and you're the one who starts to reach out. And obviously we all know it's like, no, let the guy text you. If he wants to see you, you know, he'll call or whatever. But sometimes us girls, we're such emotional beings that it's like, well, I want him to know I'm thinking about him. I want him to know I'm still here, you know? And the best thing that we can do is just refrain from doing that. Like, don't reach out, figure out, like, take a step back, like aerial view on your life, and be like, where else in my life am I actually feeling some type of like lack and insecurity, and like there's something missing? And I promise it's not the guy, it's something going on inside of you that you have to figure out, because you have to hone in on your self-love, because you can't fully show up for someone if you don't fully show up for yourself. So it's so important to understand that. And then, like what I was saying about creating stories, it's like, you know, I was in a relationship, you know, years ago, where it's like I felt like I was so connected to this person, and I'm like, yeah, we have this like such a good relationship, blah blah. And then he, like, you know, it just was rocky, and I'm like, but why? I don't understand. And then I like honed in on it, and I was like, wow, like I feel like it was really one-sided. Now that I look back at it, like he always asked me questions about like my job and like life and things like that, and I was like the only one always talking. And so I felt this great connection, of course, because he's just listening to me. But like, did I really know him? And so I just created this story in my head, and then it was just, you know, it was such like a rejection when it didn't work out. So it's so helpful. And this is also like what Love is Blind helped us with, is like truly communicating with your partner. Like understanding, like a lot of us actually, you know, if we don't have the answer to something, we fill the space with an assumption. And if we're doing that, then we're creating a story in our head. We have no idea what the real answer is unless we communicate with that person.
Right. So. And I loved your caption on that. So everyone should go back and read it, because so many people can focus on like, I'm single for 7 years, like it's never going to happen. Instead, you really just like use this time to be with yourself and figure yourself out. So I just thought that was really great, and I love the positivity that you put out there.
Yeah, no, thank you. I mean, just like I said, just like honing in on your, like, create a self-care routine, journaling, meditating, things like that, reading, and like self-help books. I'm serious, like it really does. It's funny because I'll get into like I'm human, I'll get into a funk sometimes, and I bring awareness to my thoughts. That's what like personal development does. It helps you to actually bring awareness to your thoughts, and so that you can shift your energy level from like this low vibe state to a higher vibe state. You know, you create joy in your life versus allowing things to take that joy away from you. And I'll know I'm just like in this icky spot, and I'll just read, I'll grab one of my books, and I'll just like flip open the thing, and I'm like, okay, let me just read a message. I'm sure it pertains to something that I'm going through. And for whatever reason, it's like coincidental fate. And it does, and it helps me, and it lifts me up. Or I'll do like a little dance party. I'm like, okay, Kel, like, how can we raise our vibe right now? We're not gonna like sit here and like project our, you know, insecurities and judgments and fears and anger on someone else. So how can we bring it to ourselves? So it's really important to just hone in on this person when you're feeling that, like, I always say go within when you're feeling without.
That's great. No, I think there's so many like words of wisdom that you share, and I think that's really cool because you had this opportunity to go on this show, and still like you probably didn't know what was going to happen because like did you know it was going to be on Netflix? Like
We did know that it was going to be on Netflix, but we just didn't know how successful obviously it was going to be. And I don't know, honestly, I don't know if they had like bought the show yet. So we were like, we didn't know for sure that it was going to be on Netflix. So
yeah, so because now you're using your platform as a way to empower women. So what's your life like now? Like, do you still live in Atlanta? Are you working? What's life like for Kelly after Love Is Blind?
Yeah. Not much has changed besides the fact that I do get recognized sometimes when I'm out. But granted, we were stuck in our homes for the last 3 months, so it hasn't been that much. But
yeah, it's been a crazy time, and that's probably
it's been so crazy. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I work a 9-to-5 job. I'm a recruiter for a healthcare company, so I work that still, and I'm grateful for that. And then I do my empowerment coaching. I see clients like. I mean, I have a call right after this. So, I'm constantly working. I'm working a lot, but I also know that burnout is a real thing because I did suffer from that a few years ago. And I wound up quitting my last 9-to-5 job because I got so burnt out and was like, not going to do that again. So I know when I'm doing too much and I can feel my energy is just like, I'm done. And so I go and I will watch TV or I will go like, to the park and just read or lay there or do some yoga, stretch, something, or just literally lay on my bed in silence. So you have to that's like something that I teach to my girls too. It's like you have to understand that like our world is dominated by a lot of masculine energy and which is that like go, 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 do all the time. And if you actually take time to bring in that feminine energy and create some balance in your life, that burnout will not happen or not happen as quickly. So it's really important to like give yourself that time, create some space, find some joy, go play, go have some fun, and then come back.
Yeah, no, I think that's great advice. And as we're talking, if you do, I know people are asking questions. I don't know if you can see them on your side, but feel free to stop me and answer any. I know someone above had asked, and I was wondering this too. So before we, while we're on this, what are some of your favorite books that people can really read and take advantage of?
Yes, yeah. So probably these 4 would be like really good. I'm currently reading almost done with the Untamed by Glennon and Doyle book.
I have that one on my list.
It's probably the most profound that I've read so far.
Really?
And maybe it's because I'm like where I'm at in my journey. It's just like everything is just like yes. But yeah, super profound. The 4 Agreements, it's literally the most amazing book. That book right there alone helps you create that awareness that I was talking about and like not make the assumptions. So it really helps you in life, specifically with your relationships with other people. So yeah, Untamed, the 4 Agreements, The Miracle Morning. The Miracle Morning actually was one of the first books that I read that introduced me to a self-care routine. And so like every day, whether it's 5 minutes or an hour I spend with myself, and it's because of that book. So I was never meditating. I never read. I never journaled. I never did like any of that stuff. And oh, I think you paused. But yeah, like I never did any of that stuff. And that book helped me to start those methods they're healing methods. Basically, it's like therapy for ourselves.
Do you do those then daily?
Yeah, daily. So like I said, I'm not going to say like every single day I spend like an hour with myself. That is the goal. But if I don't, then even like if you spent, because there's 6 little things that you're supposed to do, even if you did 30 seconds of each of them, like you still feel a little bit more productive in your day because at least you know that you spent 3 minutes on yourself. And a lot of us don't even do that. Like, yeah, we may be like, a lot of us are like sitting at work and we're like eating lunch while we're like, typing things. It's like we don't even take time for ourselves like throughout the day. And so that book just really helps you to create that self-care plan. And then I'm like really big into like money mindset. And so the Secrets of the Millionaire Mind is a really good book. because it has like prompts in it to like have you actually like understand your money mindset and your money behaviors and how, you know, most of us just think in this lack mindset, and so it helps us to bring that abundance in.
Yeah, no,
I have a lot.
There are so many of those books, and I'm like you, like I totally buy into all of that because it makes like it's really what you surround yourself with when you're reading these things, listening to these things. And someone also asked about podcasts, so I don't know if you have a couple that you really enjoy.
So I mean, mine are probably more, you know, like the empowerment and like business coaching kind of stuff. But so I did hire like a business and mindset coach. She has a podcast, but hers is the energetics of business, and it's really cool, like really, really cool. Just like because she does like NLP and hypnosis and like all that stuff.
Oh, cool!
Love it.
Yeah. Have you ever tried any of that stuff?
I have. I have tried hypnosis before. It was like a long time ago when I actually did it, so it was like different. But I've listened to some hypnosis things, and I think I've gone through like one of her like tapping, like doing the tapping. But my coach also does like very intense breath work. I've done that like 4 times. I'm obsessed with it. It's the most uncomfortable thing, but the most life changing. Like I literally I tell my friends, they kind of laugh at me, but so when I got done doing the show, I still had like 10 more pounds to lose. Like I was not comfortable with my weight while I was on the show, and I still had like 10 more pounds to lose. I legit, after doing the breath work, lost the last 10 pounds. Okay, because you release so much stress and like that, just the things that we try to control in life, it's literally stress, inflammation in your body. It's creating dis-ease in your body. And the breath work like allowed me to like drop into my body and like let go of some situations that were just beyond my control. And I'm just, I literally attribute the last 10 pounds to that.
Yeah, someone says breath work. I am intrigued. I am too. Like I've never heard of this. So is this part of like your coaching strategies that you use too?
Not that far, because you have to get certified to do the breath work that she does. Like it's, you have to like sign a waiver because
gotcha. Okay.
You get very not to say like hallucinogenic, but it's very like very deep. I mean, you're crying probably the whole time. Like there's an emotional situation going on. It's super deep, but incredible. So yeah, I've done it a few times, but it's amazing. But like breath work to the degree of like just kind of like quieting and like meditative breath work where you're just kind of quieting your mind, I will incorporate that. So I just do like a quick, like I call it the Foursquare Method. So you like breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, and then hold at the bottom for 4 seconds. And it just brings presence to your forehead. Yeah.
It probably forces you to like stop, like you were mentioning earlier, and just like focus.
Yes. Yeah. So it's good. But yeah, so her podcast, it's called Energetics of Business. It's by Erin Nicole Porter. And then Kayla Craft's podcast, it's called Mommy Millionaire. And she's a life coach. She's incredible. She has like a lot of, like she had like the guy from Medical Medium on there. She does a lot of like, she takes you through her health journey and then like aligns speakers, doctors, whatever, like through her journey too. So it's really fascinating. Dr. Joe Dispenza has been on her podcast, like a lot of people. And then Girls Gotta Eat. We love Little Girls Gotta Eat. That's just like, you know, every female I think can relate to every single episode on Girls Gotta Eat podcast. Ashley Hesseltine is one of my friends who's the host of Girls Gotta Eat. So I'm always supporting, you know, other females in their business endeavors too. So I'd probably say those are probably the 3 that I listen to the most.
Yeah, no, that's great. I think it's always good when people get like concrete examples too. So I appreciate you sharing with people instead of just like, oh, motivational. Like we want to know what you're listening to, because I know you mentioned like which I feel like you looked great on the show, but you said you lost 10 pounds after, and you were really sharing about that on social media too. Yeah. Like losing weight can be hard for people. Is that just, again, come with like your motivational mindset of life?
Yeah. Yes. So, I mean, I gained like 35 pounds probably. This was like 2015-ish, around there. What I tell people is I was the one that was Googling like everything of like how to lose weight, how to like what foods are, you know, the best, like that will help you lose weight, fat burning foods, like all the things. What should I do to lose weight? Oh, go like sprint, you know, do sprints on a treadmill, like kick your ass basically in the gym and you'll lose weight, you know? And it's like, okay, I got so burnt out because honestly, I was teaching spin. I would work out like, and I taught spin at 5:45 in the morning. So I would like get to the gym at like 4:45 or 5, work out, teach my spin class, and then go work out more. Then go to work all day, come home. I was working like other jobs, so I would like hone in on those. There was no time for me to date. There was no time for me to like, I probably have not, like, there's the most amount of TV that I have watched has probably been in the last year and a half, in like 10 years. Like, I remember having a girlfriend come over and we sat on the couch and I was like, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I have to take a minute because I have not utilized this couch for anything but folding laundry. And she was like, what? And I go, yeah, like, I done my laundry, put it on the couch, and then like I'm on and about my day. Like, I do not watch TV or anything. She's like, that's crazy. But yeah, I was just like in this extreme burnout. I was restricting foods because obviously, you know, you want to lose weight, you have to cut calories. And one thing that I like hone in on so much with my clients is like, if you are trying to lose weight, I want you to evaluate what you're currently eating before you start stripping and, you know, cutting things out of your diet, because you're probably not eating in balance right now. So then you start cutting food out and now you're eating even more a restrictive diet, which is putting so much stress on all of your organs, your like everything, your bones. Like, our body needs food to fuel itself. And so I started eating more food. Like, I was introduced to another health coach and she actually was like health coaching me. And I started eating more food. I worked out only 30 minutes a day. Some of that stuff was like, I barely even sweat. And I lost like 15 pounds within a matter of like 2 months.
And so many people, I feel like when you're saying all that, like, I mean, like many of my, like myself, my friends, everyone has been through that. Like women, I feel like you're totally on point. Like, I think that we all look for like this quick fix, and it's like, you really have to like fix yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, I mean, granted, yes, when I lost, you know, that first 15 pounds, I was like, okay, I feel so much better about myself and everything, but there was still obviously that last 10 pounds that I still wanted to lose. But with that all being said, it was still not enough, you know, and that's when I started to like turn to the personal development, because we have to shift this. We have to shift our mindset, because the stories, the fears, the beliefs, all of these things, just that's what will keep us stuck in those like yo-yo diets and like the cyclical behavioral patterns if we don't start changing this. Because as we start to like bring awareness to those thoughts, we can start to hone in and be like, okay, well, how can I change it so that I'm not doing it anymore? Otherwise, you're just literally constantly doing the same thing. And it goes back to like traumas when you were younger. It goes back to shame, guilt, things like that, your self-worth and self-love. So that's why I'm like, I empower women to just go inward so much, do the personal development work. It's not like, it's fun when you start doing it, but there's so much resistance to like even journaling. Like, I have so many people that are like, oh my God, no, I don't journal. Like, I could never journal. I can't journal, blah, blah. And I think it's the same thing with yoga. Like, I don't know if you've heard this, but I mean, I did it too. Like, I was like, no, yoga's not for me. Not for me. I would do yoga like for 90 hours a day if I could, like now. I think that yoga is just so expansive, soul connection when you're doing yoga. And I think that's it, because it's so quiet in certain regards. Like, obviously, yeah, you can go to like some classes and they're pumping the jams, but you're having such an individual moment with yourself that so many people are scared to do that. And that's why they don't like yoga. First of all, they've probably never tried it because they have the resistance. They're like, it's too slow for me, blah, blah. But
Kelly, I feel like you're saying everything I've thought, and I'm sure a million people like think the same way. It's like, I just am like sitting there, like I need to be doing something. But I love hearing what you're saying, and I hope it's resonating with a lot of people, because like, yeah, keep going. Like, you're totally right.
Yeah. But it's so true. Like, even like with journaling, like people have so much resistance to journaling because the thoughts that are going on in people's brains, they're not glamorous a lot of times, you know? And some people say that, oh, I have, the fear of like someone reading it. Okay, well, hide your journal. Like, I don't know, or keep it on your phone in a safe space. I don't know. Like, however you need to release your thoughts, though, it's important for you to do that. But more times over, the reason why you have resistance is because you do not want to confirm the thoughts going on in your brain. And if you put them on paper, it's confirming it. It's like a signature. Like, you are confirming that negative thought, that nasty thought about your husband. You are putting it down on paper. So, or how you think about yourself, like writing that out. Like, I'm ugly, I'm disgusting, I'm fat, like we have those internal thoughts. I mean, all of us. I've said them, but it really helps create space in your brain for more positive thoughts to come through when we can just release that. So it's so helpful.
With all of your empowerment and your coaching and stuff, how do people get involved to get that one-on-one coaching from you? Is that what you do small groups? I saw there was a couple, we've gone past them now, but whoever asked that, like, they were like, sign me up. Somebody did earlier. How would they go about getting signed up to get that kind of coaching with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So, if you go to my Instagram, I have like links to like I have a Facebook community. It's like, I do like free coaching videos inside my Facebook community. It's called Chase Life with Kelly. But you can go to my Instagram and go to the link there in my bio. But outside of that, just emailing me, it's chaselifewithkellyc@gmail.com. That would probably be the fastest way to like actually get my attention a lot these days. Or send me a DM on Instagram. I will definitely like be checking those. But I do have a group coaching program that comes out on Monday. It's a 2-week self-love course. We dive into all the stories that we've been telling ourselves, those deep-rooted stories, behaviors, setting boundaries, creating those boundaries, understanding like how we were parented affects our relationships and how we date. And then also I go into money mindset too, because that money mindset is it is directly correlated to your self-worth. So how we see money and respect money, it's connected to how we date and how we are in relationships too. So I cover all of those topics inside of this program. It's called Rejection to Redemption. It's about letting go of, rejecting yourself and then redeeming yourself. So if y'all have interest in that too, it's awesome. It's my baby.
That's awesome. No, I love that. So people can just join your Facebook community and get involved that way and then reach out to you. So thank you for being so open. I could literally probably talk to you for hours, but I will go ahead and, wrap it up soon. But going forward, like, I love that, you went on Love is Blind because so many people got to see you. Reading these comments is amazing to just see that they find you as like an inspiration and you're reaching all of these people. I mean, that's incredible. What advice do you have for people that want to go on Love is Blind?
Ooh, go for it. Just do it. Start to definitely hone into a personal development journey. Like, start that self-love, self-care work, because it will open you up to be more vulnerable yourself. Don't be afraid. Like, again, every opportunity creates another opportunity. If you make it, like, apply for it. If you get called, to have the interviews, go through the process. And if you are asked to be, cast, and if you're casted for the show, like, just ask how could this literally change my life? And I promise you it's worth it. Like, 100 times over, it's worth it. Again, it doesn't matter if you make it as far as I did. Like, even just the pod life changed people's lives. And, you interviewing Lexi, I'm sure she could attest to that. Like, so it's powerful. You open up yourself in a way that you've probably never opened up yourself before. And if you're afraid of doing that, then start doing the self-love work anyways right now.
Yeah, because it is a process you need to be like prepared for to really fully experience.
Yeah.
Do you think there's anything that people can do that because I had written earlier that I was going to be interviewing you, and I had like 3 people that were like, what advice does she have to make me stand out? Because obviously it's a big hit now.
Yeah. I wish I knew how to answer that question better. I'm like, send a video.
Yeah, or something. Like, I'm sure you seem like you're very authentic, so maybe it was just like you were yourself, you put yourself out there.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. I mean, and like I said, I don't know like how they're casting people now, because I mean we were the first show, and I mean I know like some people were like reached out to through like Instagram or something, and
Mhm.
I guess that's how they were casted. But yeah, I mean if there is a way that you have the casting director, I don't know, like I would send like a video so that you can actually show them who you are, and if that's even an option, I don't know, but
Yeah.
I would definitely do that. I've had a couple of people like reach out to me. They may have been like friends of someone, like somehow there was like some mutual friend happening. And so yeah, I just kept telling them, I'm like, just do it. Like your
Mhm.
reputation's not going to be ruined. And I mean, even Jessica, like, yes, she got a lot of hate and like negativity, but the people who know her, we know her. And,
Right.
and it stinks that everything was like it was for her. I mean, it does. It does stink, but
Mhm.
you only grow from things like that. And it's just, if I kept telling her, I'm like, you gotta like redeem yourself. Like, I mean, use this as an experience to show these people, to show the viewers that you're not this like mean person, and you're not
Mhm.
hateful, and you're not just like this flake who's just gonna just ditch some guy. Like obviously that wasn't. And if single 30 something year old girl, even if I didn't know Jessica, I would have been like, I know why. Yeah, I get it. Like
Mhm.
I understood it too, and I think some other women understood her position as well. But I just think that everything is a learning experience, whether good or bad experience. You can always create a better experience from it.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. And at the end of the day, I mean, it was a show. Like they were telling
Yeah,
stories. We
right.
watched because it was entertaining. So, like you said, different stories got different, probably things happened that weren't shown, things happened that were emphasized. So,
Yeah, exactly. So there's some production to it, but I mean, also though, it is real. Like,
yeah.
I know a lot of people have asked, oh, is it real? Was it all staged? Was anything acting? And no, it wasn't. Like, there were real conversations, real emotions. It was very much real.
Yeah, that's great. So, just in general, we'll wrap it up. You've shared so much life advice, so much like scoop on Love is Blind. So, for people that are following you now, I mean, I love following you personally just because I feel like you're making the most of life and just going after everything. But, obviously, like we have these like pre-assumed ideas that like we're supposed to be married and have kids and all of these things, like,
Mm,
but you're still just like living life, going after your dreams, even if that hasn't happened for you yet. So
yeah.
like, I just want to wrap it up with your advice for people in similar situations to just keep moving forward.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. One other thing about that Untamed book, it
Mm-hmm.
talks all about that. So
Okay, good.
yeah, it's like spot on to that. But yeah, it's like we're all on our own journey in life. Like every single person is on your own journey. Was something that I also, coach my clients through is appreciating where they're at right now and everything that's happened up to right now. Like even if you want to like get a journal out and write down everything that's literally happened in the last 6 months, and good and bad, not just good things, but bad things too, because those bad things are shaping you into the person you are today. So if we appreciate the good and the bad and we kind of like celebrate I mean, I'm into manifestation and stuff, so it's like the law of attraction. It's going to continue to show up with more positive things in your life because you are actually grateful for everything that you've already been given. And it's again, it's your journey. Like you have to enjoy the journey. It's just like, and I'll relate this to like sex. Like if you're not having foreplay and you're not like actually like kissing and touching and feeling and just like being in the moment with that person, and you're just going like straight from like sitting on the couch to like hooking up, it's like where's the fun? Where's the pleasure?
Mhm.
Where's the satisfaction? Like where is the actual like enjoyment? Where's the journey? So we have to allow ourselves to enjoy the journey and the process, because otherwise we're just always constantly looking for that next best thing. And that's when we get stuck and we get disappointed and we get rejected, and it just doesn't work that way. So if we just like take a step back and allow ourselves to just be in the present moment and just understand our journey is happening for us, then I think that that's literally the best advice that I can give you. And if you feel like you're comparing your life to someone else's on social media, unless you know that person personally, they're going through some too.
Yeah, I think that's such
Everybody
a good point to make, because everyone does see, like, they just see these people on social media. I mean, a lot of people compare constantly. I mean, we live in that kind of world. So I love that you keep reflecting on, like, just be yourself and live in the moment.
Yeah. It's so important. And again, it's that self-love work that will help you get that way. And appreciate, because you start to like hone it, like tap into your own self-love, and you just see more beauty out in the world, and you don't show up and start judging people or, negative Nancy comments on social media. Like, those just irk me to no regard. I'm like, someone needs to wash your mouth out.
I bet you've gotten a lot of those too. Like, just
have.
not even, I mean, you've gotten a lot of positive. Like, even in this chat, I see everyone is like so like motivated and inspired by you. But I'm sure, when you go put yourself out there, there's going to be haters.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, exactly. But it's, fear, what is it? Like, it's okay to have like fear and failure, like, but just keep going again. Like, get yourself up, keep going. You're going to fail. Allow yourself to fail, and know that it's, again, happening for you, not to you, and just keep showing up for yourself, and know that you can have what other people have that you want. And, that life, that dream life, it's very attainable for you too. Keep going.
So will we be seeing you on any more reality shows or anything in the future?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I would totally do one. I think a game show would be so fun. I would definitely love to do a game show, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know if like another dating show would be something that I would consider. I mean, I might, like I said, I think if the opportunity presents itself, why not? If I'm still single, it's just kind of allowing me to like maybe meet another person. Or,
yeah.
So I'm not sure. I don't think I would do something where there's an actual wedding at the end of it, but.
So no Married at First Sight. It's funny because that was your initial one, right? You would have been married before the Indian there.
It's crazy.
Well, Kelly, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time to chat with us. I know a lot of people have gotten a lot out of this interview. I am going to make sure to share it via podcast form so people that missed it can definitely listen to it, give it a good listen, and get a little motivation in their lifestyle, change it up, read your book recommendations.
Yes.
And then you mentioned earlier your email and everything. So is it best for people to contact you and reach out to you on Instagram or a different platform?
Probably Instagram would probably be the best way. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you again. I appreciate it. And we can't wait to keep following along on your journey.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you for watching The Sarah Scoop Show. Head to sarahscoop.com for more.